Pressure make diamonds, right? Watch this. I was built for this pressure. I was built for this pressure. Yeah, I was built for this pressure. Yo, yeah. I was built for this pressure. I don't fold, I apply every setback a setup. Now I'm moving in silence. They was hoping I'd break, but I just sharpened my.
The name is Rick Drogo. I don't need promo. 1v4, I knock your whole squad solo. That's right. I'm really like that.
Daddy, chill.
I'm not playing around.
Another one.
I'm not playing around.
Another one.
I'm not playing around. You can hear it in my voice. You can see it in my eyes. You can just tell what I'm doing. Look at the consistency. This is what life is all about. Consistency. Love. Passion. Why would I be playing around with this right now? Huh? You hear me? I'm not playing around. Okay? You're going to have to tell me to Will, calm down on the sound effects. Okay? Calm down on the sound effects. Because when I find out something I like and I really start getting into it, I won't stop. I won't stop until somebody says, hey, Will, you're going a little overboard, okay? And then I'll take a look at it. But until then, yeah! Oh, I got a new toy. I didn't even get a new toy. It's just literally the internet. And that's what I love about it. So anyways, sorry. Sorry, not sorry, actually. Crash the Party, Rick Drogo, episode 25. If you are watching my show and you've been watching a couple of them, a lot of them, all of them, any of that, you're really like that. I'm really like that. See, my message, you may not know this yet, but my message is really about passion, and it's about love, and it's about preparation. What do these things have in common? These are the things that make me happy. Okay? God put a lot of people in my life over the last 40-some years to teach me these things. I came from a very dysfunctional home. My family, we put the funk in dysfunctional, okay? And we did it right. So, yeah, we still all love each other, very much so. And I thank God that my family taught me that. But, man, you know what I'm saying? We be having that dysfunction. And so I say that to say I made a lot of mistakes, and I had to go through a lot of trial and error. And thank God that he put these people in my path to show me how to turn all my problems into stepping stones. Anything that came my way that should have been a stumbling block was a stepping stone. Because of my perspective. Because people helped me shift my perspective. And I thank God for that. So that's what this is all about, really. It's disguised as a show about politics, but it's really a message of hope. No, I mean, it is about politics, but I promise you, I'm trying to infect people with my positivity. I've been like that. Even when I was down bad, I felt like I had a certain level of hope that I could share with people. And I did. And I do. And I will. Okay, thank you very much.
Hello there.
All right, so it is Sunday night at 7 o'clock Central Time, Big Texas, tipping down, and Trump is talking live right now. I actually started the show a little bit ago when I saw he was going live. I just jumped in, but he talks so long. You know, when he talks about something, and he gets distracted, and then he talks about that a lot, like he drags stuff out. So it's like, I can't do that for the show. He was saying some things. I don't want to speculate on what I heard. It sounded like he was talking about getting into some action tomorrow, but we're just going to have to save that. I don't want to speculate. So I do want to it's not going to be a long video. Excuse me. This is my Sunday. But one thing about me is I'm going to put a video out on Monday. Okay? One thing about me, I'm going to put a video out on Monday. I promise you that. Okay? So, I want to go over what happened over the weekend, and we're gonna watch. I got a clip of the day, and we're gonna see where the news from this weekend takes us. Okay, we're gonna try to keep it under 30 minutes or less, even, because I need to eat and get to sleep. I got a big roof to do tomorrow. A fat boy, 60 squares, over 60, 2-story, nice and steep. I might be putting some footage up tomorrow of it, and I might try to do some interviews with some people about their political views to help me understand why they believe what they believe, and I think it might prove to be interesting. So, anyways, let's talk about the summit first. So the summit happened. Trump went and he talked to President Xi Jinping, and they talked about they stabilized. This is the summaries I got. Okay, they stabilized their relationship supposedly. Okay, they made a deal for that China's going to buy 200 Boeing jets. Agriculture deal for farmers and exporters. Trump said farmers are really going to be happy about this. Yeah, that's right. Tech investment steps. I guess we gave them the rights to make a certain chip by NVIDIA, an AI chip at that. And they talked about Iran. Obviously, supposedly, I saw a thing that said Trump. I saw him say with his own mouth, in his own words, that President Xi offered to help, and he said he doesn't need their help. So I don't know what his help would have looked like, but yeah. So supposedly it was successful. That's what the news is saying. That's what Trump is saying. At least that's what like the center news and the right news. I haven't actually looked to see what the left was saying. I know the Young Turks, I saw their thumbnails. They were burning that boy down. Okay? And they always do. So, I always want to watch them on the show because they're so polarizing, but I feel like people don't want to hear from the Young Turks. If you do want to hear from the Young Turks, put it in the comment section, okay? I want to hear from you.
Hello there.
Put it in the comment section. If you like the Young Turks, if you don't like the Young Turks, if you want to hear from them, if you don't like to hear from them, because just like I said, I'm just going to rephrase it. They're very polarizing. I like to listen to them. I just do. And so I know at least one person that watches my show doesn't, and I'm not going to do everything I like. I'm not going to make all my decisions based off of what the viewers want and don't want. But some things I will, because this is a community. I want to make a community where it's like we're kind of doing this together, where we are. And so I don't want to watch somebody a lot that nobody likes. So, anyways, over this weekend, there was this compensation fund talked about, which is a $1.7 billion Truth and Justice Compensation Fund. The Trump administration is fast-tracking a controversial plan for a taxpayer-funded fund around $1.7 billion. What? To compensate allies and others investigated by the Biden-era DOJ. It could cover January 6 defendants and ties into settling Trump's IRS lawsuit. Critics call it a political slush fund. It's still not finalized, but has sparked immediate backlash. Yeah, just from reading it, that doesn't sound like something I'm for. Let me see what that's about exactly. Okay. Okay, so it's a proposed 1.776 billion. The number is a nod to 1776. Taxpayer funded. That right there I don't like. That's actually a whole conversation that we need to have. Is taxes. I'll get into that in a second. I got questions about taxes and money that the government uses and spends and supposedly owes. Okay, I've got questions about that. So let's come back to that. But the goal of this Truth and Justice Fund, which if it's called that, you already know it's some bullshit. The goal: pay claims from people and groups who say they were victims of government weaponization under the Biden administration. Okay. Who could get money? Trump allies. Huh? Trump allies? Hit a sound effect. Trump allies who faced legal fees or other costs, people charged in connection with January 6th. What is that? Is that when they did the riot? Let's see. What? Let's see. January 6th, Congress was holding a joint session and official votes confirming Joe Biden the winner of the 2020 election. People were rallying. The event is described as very many people. Oh, it was like the insurrection. Hundreds of people were arrested and charged with crimes. Okay, so yeah. So people that were charged with that are going to get money back? How does that? I don't know how that makes sense. Well, I'll have to look into that January 6th because I think I heard people say that was actually like people on the left hired to act like people on the right. I don't know if that's true or not. You can tell me in the comment section. Tell me in the comment section.
Hello there.
Tell me in the comment section if that was right or what you think about January 6th. Was it a ruse from the left or was that just a bunch of MAGA jackasses doing their thing? Or were they not jackasses? I don't know. Did they have the right to do that? Should they have done that? Okay, back to this compensation fund. How it's funded. Likely through the Treasury existing judgment fund, taxpayer money used for court settlements and judgments. See. This is my problem. This is my question here. Taxes. Didn't we just give trillions of dollars to Ukraine, right? And millions or billions to Israel. Whose money was that? Was that taxpayer money? Or was that government, like gold? Because I thought we were in debt. How are we in debt if we're giving people trillions of dollars? Is that taxpayer money? Because here's my thing. Isn't money printed? Isn't money a made-up thing? Hello? Isn't money a made-up thing? Isn't somebody out there printing money? Isn't it the government? Why are we in debt? Why don't they just go make some money? Huh? Go make some money. Tell me. Let's find out. Just forget all this. Forget all this stuff. Nothing else happened. Let's double check here. Louisiana Senate primary shakeup. I don't know enough about that to talk on about it. Venezuela deports someone. Okay, let me see here. Why do we pay taxes? Let's talk about it. Okay, here we go. Because you didn't have to cut me off. Let's watch this video. This is by Thought Monkey. It's only 4 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Because, look, remember, I'm a middle-aged man who doesn't really know anything about politics other than what I've learned in the last month. In the last 24 episodes is the wealth of my knowledge when it comes to politics, other than stuff that is just common sense. And even that, let's not talk about it. So let's watch this real quick. 4 minutes. It's called Why Do We Pay Taxes to the Government in 4 minutes? I need that. Okay? Don't judge me. All right? I'm not dumb. I'm curious.
I'm sure you've all heard of Wesley Snipes. What you may not know is that this millionaire landed himself in jail for 3 years after trying to get away.
That's a badass picture of Wesley Snipes right there. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big comic book nerd. Okay? This right over here, that's my current stack of like comics I'm reading. Absolute Batman right now is the number one comic I'm reading, along with Absolute Superman. I'm really like that. What can I say? And Blade, he's really like that. In fact, people say I'm kind of like the real life Blade. People have said it, so I had to go ahead and talk about that.
With not paying over $7 million in taxes. Himself in jail for 3 years after trying to get away with not paying over $7 million in taxes. Why does our government believe it has the right to take away our hard-earned cash and use it for flying jet planes and bombing Arab villages? Well, listen and find out. Today we'll explore the topic of taxes, the history, the rules, and the whys. First, what do taxes do? Well, there are many viewpoints on this, and some might say they do nothing. Some might even say that they do more harm than good. But the reality is, regardless of your position, taxes pay the salaries of the people in government, like all those Congress people you see in suits on TV. It also provides us with infrastructure like roads and other random little stuff like the nutrition labels on the side of your Lucky Charms. Okay. It pays for public schools, the military, police, firemen, and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay, I can get with that. That makes sense to me. That's what I was under the impression. That our taxes go to fund the government because ultimately they work for us. Nutritional fact, that's cool. Teachers, roadways. Okay, I can get with that.
What about the kinds of taxes we have to pay? Taxes come in all shapes and sizes. The ones that probably affect us the most are our federal and state income tax, which is based on a percentage of the money that you make. Generally, the more money that you make, the higher percentage of tax you have to pay. However, that's not always the case, as there are loopholes and secrets that people like Mitt Romney know about, so that he doesn't have to give away so much of his money to his colleagues. We also pay sales tax on just about every item we buy, from the gallon of milk in your fridge to the pack of condoms in your bedside drawer. Whoa. Finally, there's property tax, which most of us millennials will probably never have to worry about, so let's just move on. Okay, here's the big question. Why? Well, paying taxes is our civic duty. Without it, we would not be able to pay our politicians, their salaries, or maintain an active military that is able to fight the wars on terrorism from the deserts of Nevada, or fund a public education system that is responsible for developing the young minds of our future. Let's not kid ourselves here, though. What's the real reason? If you don't pay up, agents dressed in black suits will come for you with loaded guns. If you resist, you'll be murdered.
What?
If you don't, you'll be locked away behind steel bars. Don't forget Wesley Snipes. If they can capture a human vampire, they can get you too. Don't take the red pill here. Or is it the blue pill? I don't really remember, but you're probably not the one, so just stay in the Matrix. So what about all those people like Snipes who say paying taxes is unconstitutional? Well, their claims are kind of bullshit unless they were living before February 3rd, 1913, when the 16th Amendment was passed, which states, "The Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever source derived, without apportionment from the several states, and without regard to any census or enumeration."
Wow.
So, yeah, not illegal anymore. Okay, so what's the deal with all the tax protesters then? Most of their arguments come from the language of tax code. For example, the 861 argument used by some tax protesters, which interprets some of the tax code as making income tax invalid. However, this argument and pretty much all others have been held by the courts as incorrect. In fact, the IRS wrote a whole handbook about these kinds of protests. It's called The Truth About Frivolous Tax Arguments. In it, they go over some of the common tax protesters' arguments. For example, some say paying taxes is voluntary due to the language used in some of the law written. But the IRS says that what's voluntary is choosing whether to fill out the paperwork to determine your tax liability yourself or have the government do it for you. Also, some say it's against their belief system to pay taxes. Well, in response, the IRS says that tax deductions are given to the charitable nature of religious institutions rather than what their beliefs are. It doesn't matter what you believe as long as you either pay your taxes or give it to charities that are eligible for tax deductions. The bottom line is that taxes, whether you like them or not, are unavoidable. However, the tax code does allow for deductions and credits that lead to a reduced tax liability. So do yourself a favor and either pay your taxes or figure out a way around it without going to jail and ending up like Wesley Snipes. Thanks for watching, and please hit the thumbs up button below if you like.
Wow. All right. Well, so here's my problem then. Let's find this out. Oh, here. Sorry. Let me let you into my domain. Let's see what that boy Grot got to say. When we gave money to Ukraine, where did that money come from? That's what we need to know. Just give me one sentence, Grok. The U.S. aid to Ukraine came from U.S. federal government's budget, authorized by Congress through appropriation bills. Congress approves the spending. Most Ukraine aid has come via supplemental appropriations, emergency bills outside the regular annual budget. Since Russia's full-scale invasion... Here we go. Where the government gets the money. U.S. taxpayers. Borrowing. The U.S. runs budget deficits. So much of this is financing by issuing treasury bonds and debts. This adds to the national debt. But who are they borrowing it from? It's not taken directly from other specific programs. Just make some more. That's what it sounds like they're doing, and this whole debt thing is BS. Well, that's another clip for another day, right? We're not going to get into all that. This is a light Monday morning, okay? Everybody's on their way to work, and they're almost getting to work. So we really want that clip of the day. Before we get to the clip of the day, Iran recently said that they were going to unveil a new transit plan for commercial vessels to get through the Strait of Hormuz. So I figured we would just take a quick look at that in case you don't know, so we can hear exactly what they said, okay?
Well, the national security chief...
This is News Nation. This guy is in Qatar right now, and he's about to tell us exactly what Iran said.
For Iran's parliament, framing this as a means of being able to get ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Though it gets a little bit more complicated than just that. They say that there's going to be a route that will be unveiled in order for ships to transit through. But listen to the words of this Iranian official who said that in this process, only commercial vessels and parties cooperating with Iran will benefit from it. The necessary fees will be collected for the specialized services provided under this mechanism. This route will remain closed to the operators of the so-called Freedom Project. So making clear this is not going to be open to American ships or allies of the United States. But you also have that line in there, the necessary fees. Certainly sounds an awful lot like...
The necessary fees? Dang, they're trying to collect a check. Well, that's not going to be good. Because from what I understand, the maritime laws of the sea, they shouldn't be allowed to tax people just to go through that area. So this sounds like some BS from Iran. And I guess we'll see what Trump has to say about that. Maybe that's what he's addressing in his little spiel right now. That's live. And I don't know if he's done yet. It would be nice to see something that says, because he made a statement that sounded crazy. But like I said, I don't want to speculate on what it was. But all right. So it's been good. We're here. I've been showing out for the last 24 minutes. Let's watch the clip of the day, which is Donald Trump. Is he 3 for 3 on the clip of the day? I'm trying to remember. No, we had the one about pollution. Okay. So it is Trump talking about President Xi. That's the first time I got it right. President Xi Jinping is Trump is asked, does he think President Xi Jinping is a dictator and what he thinks about it? The clip of the day is his response, okay? Let's check it out.
Just a short while ago on Air Force One, President Trump was asked if he thinks Xi is a dictator. Here's what he said.
I don't think about it. He's the ruler. He's the president of China. I don't think about it. You deal with what you have. I respect him. He's very smart. He loves his country. I respect him. Whether he's a dictator, that's for you to figure out.
Okay, Trump. I don't think about it. That's what he said. What do you think about that? I'm going to tell you what I think about it, okay? That's a cop-out. Now, once again, I got to make the statement. I'm not a Trump hater. I support Trump because he's our president. He's our leader. I want him to succeed. I'm just being real about what I observe, okay? Now, I didn't vote for him. I'm not saying I would vote for him. I'm not saying any of that. I just support my leaders unless they're straight up out here breaking the law or doing some blasphemy type stuff, which he has, real blasphemy. If you know what real blasphemy is, he hasn't done that. So people throw that word around too much. And anyways, it's like recently there was a streamer in the past few years named Dr. Disrespect, and he's real funny. And he a couple years ago, he got caught supposedly talking to a girl that was under 18. And he had a case against him, and he beat it. And he cleared the allegation. Well, he still talked to her, but it was supposedly he didn't break the law. It was just a bad look for him. Well, a lot of people tried to cancel him, and a lot of people still watch him. So it's like if somebody asked me if I still watch Dr. Disrespect, and they said, wow, you still watch him? Well, what about that stuff about him talking to an underage girl? And I just said, I just don't think about it. That's up for you to decide. Well, no, you had to have thought about it. It happened, and either you don't believe it, or you don't care. Or you do care, and you still like to work with him. You still like his content. Whatever it is. In this situation, he doesn't want to say he's a dictator, but I still mess with him. He's still my boy. Or he probably just doesn't care. Okay. I know a lot of people tell me Trump wants to be a dictator. People tell me, remember, I hear people's opinions. I talk about this stuff all the time. A lot of people tell me Trump would be a dictator if he could. He looks up to President Xi Jinping. All right, that's good. That's it. Listen, I want to hear from you.
Hello there.
Put it in the comment section.
Hello there.
Please talk to me. Tell me what you think about all this. Give me some good ideas about what to look for. I would like to look into this whole money thing because this is a very left and right topic from what I understand, from what I've learned near the beginning, from what I believe, Republicans don't want a lot of taxes. They don't want the government involved a lot. And they kind of are saying, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and if you want money, you got to go out and get it. If you don't work for it, you're not getting anything. And the Democrats are more, hey, let's work together so that everybody can be more even, and taxes are good because they can help even stuff out or something like that. You can help clear that up for me if you want, if you could, because I need it. And we're going to keep pushing. So tomorrow, like I said, I got a big job. I'm still going to do my best to crank a show out. and because I really love this. I love doing this, and I've been having lots of fun. I hope you're having lots of fun. Give me some feedback. Talk to me. Subscribe. Okay, we've got like 81 subscribers now. I've gotten 81 subscribers in less than a month. I think that's good. I'm not sure exactly as far as new channels go, but I think that's good. If I'm trying to get 500, that's when we can monetize and we can really start maybe doing some things. By the time I get 500, I think the view part, because there's a couple milestones you have to hit, and I think we'll be able to do that by that time. Okay, I'm cranking out views with the reels, and with my videos, I'm getting lots of views. You know, I'm pushing like over 10,000, maybe towards 15,000 views, and I forget where we need to be at, but to get monetized, but we'll get there. No pressure. I'm not worried about it at all. I know God's got a plan, and I'm so glad to be a part of it. So just remember, proper preparation prevents poor performance. So get ready for work tonight. Okay, wake up a little bit earlier so you can pray and you can do your push-ups and your sit-ups and your little morning meditation. Go out and get some sun. Go for a walk. I love you. Thank you for crashing the party with me. See you tomorrow.